What's going on, YouTube? This is Si, the original kayak fishing, broadcasting to you on a Saturday. Uh, I want to do something real quick first before I get into a topic. I want to do a bait of the day. Our bait of the day today is going to be the Azuma Z-Boss 10. One of the few crankbaits I actually have confidence in. Made by Profound Outdoors. And you can order them there. I'll put the link in the description for this bait. They've also got a bunch of other stuff, and they usually have pretty good deals on there. So if you're looking for some crankbaits, go check them out. What I want to talk about today is slow rolling for bass. Just the technique of slow rolling, kind of my definition of it, how to do it. Because winter bass fishing is a pretty gray area, other than you hear the term slow roll a million times. But the problem was for me trying to figure the stuff out is you don't hear about it a lot. It's not something that you just it's not like summertime and there's certain things like walking the dog you can find tutorials on. Slow rolling's kind of a different thing, and not as many people are into doing slow roll tutorials because they're just kind of obvious. But sometimes us stupid people need even the obvious stuff explained to us so we can use it. So whoever came up with that, thank you. But really what I want to talk about is I had a conversation with one of the owners at Gray's Tackle Shop in Sheffield, Alabama. And we were just kind of talking about, just our different approaches to winter fishing, how to do it. I was asking him how he does it, and we were talking about it. And just talking fishing as usual, and he said, well, I used to think slow rolling was literally just slow rolling, and it's nothing, it's not the tactic as much, it's what you use, and that's what we were kind of talking about as we were discussing this. And he actually said a couple years ago he had a lady come in who was on some kind of bass fishing team, either collegiate or pro team or high school team or whatever, and they were talking about winter bass fishing, and she said that she liked to toss out the tournament reels and stick to Zebco 33. That's what she said, and what she means by that is basically her gear ratio on her reels, the hardware that she's using. She wants to slow it down, and this is just a Abu Garcia Silver Max. It's not an expensive reel. It's really, I paid $20 for it used. They're not easy. They're easy to come by. They're good reels for what they are. For the price, they're good reels. They don't match up to a Lose Laser Spool or whatever, but they're pretty good. I'm an Abu Garcia guy. I just like Abu Garcia stuff. But she stayed away from that kind of stuff during the winter, mostly because you're moving stuff so fast, and your reel ratio is pretty much every time you crank the handle once, your spool turns 6.4 times in this situation. And with the fancier Lose stuff, you probably get into 7.1s. Shimano's, I think I've seen there's an 8. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's something that runs about an 8, 7.8 or 8.3 gear ratio, which is fast, almost too fast, to be honest. We're not trying to win a race or anything with a lure, see which one gets back to the boat quickest. We're trying to catch fish. I think people get caught up in fast and speed, not catching fish, and that's how marketing works. So but we were talking about it, and we were just talking about, maybe the best idea is not to use the fast hardware, and to slow down not only your retrieve and how you're letting the crankbait or spinnerbait react to the bottom, react to the surroundings it's in, but to slow down your hardware as well. And I did not step down all the way to a 33. I probably should. I don't know. I don't really feel like it. They just take forever to reel in, but a step in the right direction, I think, would be something more like this. Now, some people would absolutely freak if they had to use one of these. But I enjoy them. I think they're the classic. They're the classic baitcaster reel. This is Abu Garcia uh, Ambassador Bass 4600C. It runs its high speed, which for this time era that this thing was made in, it's an older reel, of course. But it runs like 5.3, I believe is right. Comment if you think otherwise. I don't know. I might look it up later and comment. But I believe it is 5.3. And just that much difference, you know, that's 11. That's 1.1 revolutions difference, and that can mean a lot, you know, especially if you typically like to do a slower retrieve as usual, which I do because I'm used to using Carolina rigs and Texas rigs, and I just like fishing slow. I'm not a big power fishing person, but I have got into it a little more than I was. I used to think it was stupid, and now I'm like, you know, it's kind of smart. KVD wasn't a bad dude to come up with that. I'll give him credit for being the king of power fishing, for sure. But, you know, just using a regular crankbait like this, slow rolling it on this, and I tried it out, versus slow rolling on this was a complete difference. This you could kind of slow it down a whole lot more. I could feel a difference. You know, when you were using the faster reel, you were always hitting the bottom real hard instead of just kind of, you know, scooting along the bottom. And I think the lower your gear ratio is, and the quicker you get a more constant pull instead of a jerk. And I think the bass kind of see that. And, you know, bass in the wintertime, they're less apt to strike at whatever comes their way. They're more conservative about their energy and body heat and stuff. And they're trying to, you know, they're almost in a hibernation, for lack of a better word. But, you know, you get that jerking, and I think it's just unnatural. And I think if you jerk, you know, even if you don't think you're jerking, but, you know, you slow it down and then you know, do anything like that, it's going to show up. You know, the bass are going to see that. They're going to be like, okay, he's moving too fast, and they're going to let it go. And I actually went fishing and used the slower stuff, and I actually caught, you know, I caught fish, which surprised me. I was not expecting to catch fish, and I think it works. And but that's really what I wanted to talk about this video. Just, you know, something to talk about, discuss. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment section. We can talk fishing on the comment section. You know, that's not a big deal. But I really do want to hear y'all's input on it, because I think that's something that has been overlooked, and it's just kind of like, that's something people could really use. And I thought that'd be a great topic for a video. So tune in next week. I'm probably going to post another video. I'll try to do one either Monday or Tuesday, and another one over the weekend, Christmas weekend. So we'll see what comes up that way. Like and share my videos. Subscribe. Do all that stuff. Let's get the page popular. I like to talk to more people than 34, but 34 views is okay. I appreciate that. If you watched it, I appreciate it. But anyway, y'all have a great week and stay safe.